Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going live just on Facebook. For some reason, my Zoom was kicking me out. So we're just live on Facebook today for the last of the 15 days top agent boot camp. So let me double check my Facebook, make sure I am going live. And there I am. So we are live today. So today we're going to be talking about how to run a successful business. Now, the last 14 days, we've been discussing how to be a top agent in all different subjects, how to work with buyers and sellers and negotiations and financial tools and getting buyers off the fence. So many different things that we've been talking about. And today, I want to kind of finalize things with how to run a successful business and think about it, because myself, this is 100% what I focus all my time on, is running our real estate office, helping my agents. I feel like I have 500 plus small businesses. That's how I look at my business, as having 500 other small businesses. Could you imagine that? That's why many years ago I decided I'm out of all other types of businesses. I was trying to diversify, go in other businesses, invest in real estate, all of that. Sometimes people go, "You're in real estate, don't you invest in real estate?" Yes, I do. I invest in realtors. I have 500 plus small businesses. I don't need something else in my life. So to all my Century 21 Home Star agents, you got my full attention. Outside of my family and personal things that I enjoy doing, you got me 100%. But you, as a realtor, got to think of yourself as a business. If you've never owned another type of business, you just had other careers or jobs, there's a lot more things to think about and could go way more in detail. I mean, it takes days, hours, weeks, months to years, if you want to say, master a business plan, being efficient. After 24 years of running this business, I still try to tweak things to make it a little bit more efficient, and communication. There's always things that you could improve on. But here are some general things to avoid, general things to keep in mind, of theories or thoughts. So, number one of these are the lists of 7 deadly sins of business. The things that you should avoid, be aware of, and just be top of mind when catch yourself if you're in close to any of these categories. So one is mistaking activity for productivity. I use this a lot when I'm explaining to agents, especially when they're talking to me, when we're discussing things. Sometimes anytime an agent that's in business thinks they're doing something real estate related, that's work. Well, this is a 24/7 business. You could think about it, talk about it 24 hours a day, but don't mistake activity, talking about real estate, doing things, to be productive, because being productive is a totally different. It's what you are doing. Number one thing, income generating things. So the disconnect with realtors sometimes getting to that next level is the really trying to understand that there's certain activities: prospecting, calls, door knocking, connecting with people, networking, connecting with your sphere, and doing that consistent prospecting, that's income generating activities. But sometimes they don't feel it's productive because it's not giving you an instant result right now. So what happens is you stop doing that. Like, I'm not talking to anybody today. I spent an hour, 2 hours on the phone just leaving messages. I've door knocked and no one was home, but I left a door hanger. You have to, that disconnect, what's productive. Also being efficient with some of these things too. So think about that, of what's productive and just doing, thinking, talking in real estate. I say this a lot, and I'm joke with some I joke, but serious with some people that have careers where they have 9-to-5 jobs. I've seen it. I've had employees. I've had employed hundreds of people in the different businesses I've had over the years, and in this real estate business, we have a great team now that's extremely efficient with me and Brenda and Debbie and Brooke and Julia and Carly. But I could go on and on about stories, but some people feel that going to work and showing up is working. That's not the case. Is being productive. I used to have people come into the office, go get coffee, sit down, get into. I go, do you know it starts at 9? The phone would be ringing, let it go to voicemail. You're supposed to be ready. You don't walk in the door at 9. That's not the job. The job is to start work at 9. And not walk out the door at 5. Not walk, you're in your car at 5. No, you continue answering the phone and doing your job to 5. Then you get ready to leave. Would be such a foreign concept to people. Like, no, I have to be out the door and in my car by 5:01. No, that's, you shut down your computer, stop answering the phone at 5:01, and you're ready to work at 9:01. If you want to talk about your day or your weekend, come in at 8:30. The point I'm getting at, little venting there of a business owner, is to be productive. And sometimes you open a computer, you're glancing at your emails, you're doing different things, checking out the MLS. I'm working. I worked 8 hours today. Well, how much of those 8 hours were productive? Because you're your own business. So if you're not productive, you won't excel. 2, lacking specific direction of which way, going from hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. What's your direction? What do you want to accomplish, from the minimal tasks to the long-term goal? Being disorganized. I think that is key to efficiency, is being organized. If you are not organized, if every day you're trying to spend time to organize your schedule, spend time organizing your database, spend time organizing when you have to call and what you have to call, organizing your notes. If you're one of those people that have notes and notes and notes and notes all over the place of things that it's not done or completed, so you could easily get through your day, or easy as possible, it's so hard for unorganized people to get a lot of things done. If you want to be extremely successful in real estate, you're going to have to juggle multiple clients, multiple buyer sellers, and then each contract has 5 or 6 different people involved: appraiser, loan officer, inspector, title company, escrow people, other agent. There's several people, and match that by 10 transactions or more a month. That's a lot of people. If you're unorganized, who you got to call next, what's schedule, what needs to happen, keeping your schedule and your calendar optimized of when things have to go for which client. So disorganization is a big, deadly sin. Getting stuck on a production platform. Getting stuck on a certain level. I have several agents every year that I coach that say, every year I'm doing 12 transactions, I'm doing 15 transactions, I'm doing 8 transactions. Every year I'm about the same. I've been doing this for a year. How do I go above? Well, simple thing without diving deeper is you're probably doing the same amount of work and the same things. So you have to excel. I want to double that. Well, you got to do double the work, but you got to do double the work in activity that's productive, have a direction, and be organized about it. if that makes sense. Shiny object syndrome. Oh, I just I get this a lot too. Is especially when agents see other agents succeed or at a level where they want to be. Like, what are they doing? What do they have? That shiny objects syndrome. Get that in companies and agents. I mean, we've been in business over 24 years. I've been in the business 30 years. I've said that every single class. The reason why I structure that, say that, is because I see companies out there, great people, great companies in their own way, but I see agents flock to some of these companies because there's a shiny object. Oh, look at this new thing. Look, my business is not going where I want it to be, so let me try this shiny new company. Let me try this shiny new lead source. Let me try this shiny new something. And thinking that that's going to increase your business. It doesn't. What increases your business is everything I just mentioned, is productive activity, direction, being organized, and last, the company that will give you the support, the mentoring, the experience to help you. The experience and the expertise to help you. That's the most important thing. Now, of course, Central Trim and Homestar, I've created it in a way where they have experienced people and a support team of people to help everybody. But there are other companies out there that are almost just as good. But of course, I've built something that I think is the best I feel to help agents, and that's why we're happy to say and proud to say we have over 500 agents. But the point I'm getting that with this shiny new object is there is no shiny new object. Your business is your business. Your shiny, it's you. The shiny new object should be a new faith in yourself of what you're going to accomplish, because the bottom line, it comes down to what you do. So don't think that there's a shiny new object that's going to be the magic bullet to make you more successful. And I'll stick with the companies. Every new agent or potential new agent that calls me is interested in joining us. Guess what? I don't take everybody. I'm exactly where we want to be. I want to be around 500 agents. That's it. That's where we as a company are maximized. It's kind of like a restaurant. You have so many tables. If all of a sudden they have more tables, what do? They tell people they have to wait, or they tell people, make an appointment another day or a reservation, because their kitchen can't handle anymore and they don't want anymore. That's similar to us. But the point I'm making is that you have to figure out what your level is and where your balance is to give you the best of what you're going to do. Next, economic vertigo, and that is just your head is swimming in numbers, in costs, in income, in commission. And a lot of this is, and I see this happening, it always does, but it's happening a little bit more now because of the lack of inventory and not having as many listings out there. Agents thinking about reducing their commission is going to get them more business. Let me remind you, my opinion, disclaimer, I'm not telling you, I won't even throw out percentages out there, because as real estate companies, we're not supposed to be mass talking about commissions. But what I'll tell you this is that 95% or more of people use a realtor in the country to sell their house. That's huge. I think, I'll just guesstimate that minimum 80 to 85 minimum. That's very, very, conservative, or not. It's probably more than 85% are getting full commissions on their sales. So 80 to 85% or more Again, I know the 95% of people using an agent. I'm just throwing out there full service real estate companies, which is 85% of most real estate companies are full service. Definitely in our market, there's very, very small of these little tiny discount companies. But of people paying full price in the aspect of full commissions, it's not a business, a sound business strategy to discount. Back to companies, same with companies. Agents call me all the time going, hey, can I get a better, all of our agents are on the same commission structure. Agents call me all the time. Hey, I got this company over here that will do this. Will you do that? I'm like, nope. Our services, our support, our tools, our system, this is what, as a business, is the best I could do for you to keep everything flowing efficiently and giving the best service. You don't want to have that, because the discount companies, the companies that really discount it for agents, never last and they never grow. And there's the agents that discount their commissions a lot and try to do these flat fees and things like that. It's not enough money to stay in business and be profitable. It just isn't. And that's why other businesses, you go into stores, you go into restaurants, can they cut their costs? Of course they can. But they have to have a profit in there to keep everything going, to service you, whatever the business is. Same with you. So I'm not saying you give someone a break here or there, but one thing to keep in mind when you are talking to people about commission, don't think percentages, think money, because sometimes those percentages equal too much. And example, if you say, okay, I'll discount you 1%. Now, 1% could be more than $250. So you could say, I'll give you a discount of $250. I'll give you a discount of whatever, something. Because if you start talking about percentages, then you got to do the math a little bit, and they might not be doing the math. So just a little heads up on things about that. But Century 21 Homes, our agents, be happy to go over commissions and how to show your value. We went over that in some of these videos earlier in the weeks. That just diminishes your value when they can manipulate what you're charging your cost for service is. And last, 7, becoming isolated. So this is basically our Century 21 Homestar agents. We do our best to always be there. You know where we are. If you need to talk, you need to, just because you're out there in your own market, your own field, your own area, you're not alone, ever alone. 9 to 5, 8 to 5 in the office. We're there to talk to you, help you, be connected to you. We do our best to all of our agents. We talk to many texts, email, call, Zooms, FaceTimes, agents, many agents every day. But and we try to reach out to agents that we don't talk to on a consistent basis, at least once a month, just to check in on you. If you ever feel isolated, we're here. We're here for you. So sometimes agents feel isolated because they feel like it's just them. Because once you start getting the business, you forget that there's other people there to help you. There's other people there to just discuss situations. That's part of my day every day, is just discussing what's happening and maybe thinking of different ways. It doesn't have to be a problem to call me. I have agents that call me. We schedule times to talk, sometimes not the exact same day, but we discuss what's happening in your business, what's happening with a certain buyer. I get these a lot, obviously in the last few years, of, hey, this is the 4th house we wrote an offer on, we missed out. What kind of things you could think I could do for the next house, and say to the buyer, and ideas. So I do a lot of that collaboration. So just because we're not together face to face every day, you have a team of people that'd be happy to discuss with you. But as you get busy, sometimes successful agents get isolated unless you have your own support staff or team of agents that you have helping you. Sometimes a good, successful single agent feels a little isolated because you're just working the business, doing the things you're supposed to do, and you feel like you're just alone. If you don't want to feel that way, some people do want to be alone to do their business, but if you don't want to, especially Essential 21 Home Store agents, you got us here. Any other agent, other companies, reach out to your company, reach out to your management, reach out to your broker. They should be available for you to help or just discuss what's happening. So those are the kind of the 7 deadly sins. And now we're going to go to a couple things of 7 things that successful entrepreneurs, successful business owners do. Well, one, I'll give you a definition I wrote down once of an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is one who shifts economic resources out of an area of lower yield and into an area of higher yield. So one who shifts economic resources out of an area of lower yield and into an area of higher yield. That's a definition that someone said about an entrepreneur. My twist on that with agents is not economical, because I firmly believe time is way more valuable than money in real estate and in sales and building, communicating with people and building relationships and prospecting and door knocking and networking and all of that. So I would change that to more of time, your personal time and energy resources, and take them to low yield to high yield. That is non-income generating activities to income generating activities. So when you take those, when you start spending more of your personal time on income generating activities, in prospecting, in building your database, adding to your database, connecting with them, asking for referrals, if you spend more of your time there, yielding more time there, more effort, honing your skills, honing your scripts and dialogues, and being more comfortable, that's a good, successful business owner. But here are the 7 things. Have a set, so successful business owners have a set of short, mid, and long range goals. Short, mid, and long range goals of what do you want to accomplish today? What do you want to accomplish this week? What do you want to accomplish by the end of the year? What do you want to accomplish by the end of your career? We went a little bit over that yesterday about what is your goal. Sometimes agents, all of their goal is just finishing, making money in real estate, and then someday just stopping. But one of your long-term goals could be, I'm going to have a business, a referral, a database of people referring business to me and people to reach out to, in a system that I'm calling this person today, that person today, where someone could jump right in. Like if someone said, I'm taking over your business today, I'm coming to the office, what am I going to do? What would I do if I was working as you today? What would I do? Small picture I'm painting in my mind now is that someone walked in. If someone said, Tony, I want to take your business over today, I say, here, come in here, which don't worry, not going to do it. I'm going to work, because I love what I do until I don't even know when, because I love what I do, so I can't imagine ever retiring. But well, let's just put that for argument's sake. Someone came in and said, Tony, now I'm you for the day. Great. Here, sit in the seat. You don't even have to sit in the seat. Here's my phone. Here's my calendar. Those are the people that call. Watch for the texts coming in. Watch for the emails coming in. There's going to be agents that need things, and my assistant Brooke helps me keep my schedule going. And I will. This is who you follow up with. I have it in my schedule. Here's my tasks, and here's my calendar. Here's the things. This is the system of how to move those tasks to follow up with people in the future. and it's just a system. It's just would just run. You're me now. Outside of the expertise, so outside of not, I'm just saying someone who's been in the business 30 years that kind of could have the same advice, the same coaching, all of that. So imagine, again, you as an agent, you're one of your long-term goals. When you get to the end, another agent that has the same amount of experience, that knows what you know, or could service your clients, your past clients and your referrals, the way you can, sat down, what would they do? Do you have a system? Go, there you go. Sit down, do it. Here it is. It's right there. Very easy to jump in. What's your job? When you have a business and someone shows up to take over your business, and you're like, well, I have no idea what to do or tell you how you do it. I just do it. I just react and just get things done. That's not something that you could give to someone or put value to. Just like, again, a business, if you could, that someone buys. So think about that. That could be one of your long-term goals. 2, successful realtor business is keep a daily focus on lead generation. Without leads, there's no buyers or sellers, and without buyers and sellers, there's no sales, and without sales, there's no commission checks. It's the chicken, or what's first, the chicken or the egg type debate. That I think, well, let's say you need an egg to make a chicken. I always think the egg came first, but well, you can debate that. But the whole philosophy is you can't go right to a sale. You can't go right to have a buyer or seller before they're a lead. They have to be a lead. They have to be a cold lead that turns them into a warm lead, that turns them into a hot lead, turns them into a client, turns it into a buyer, active buyer and seller, turns them into a sale. That's how you go. So you got to keep focused on that every day. Number 3, you got to commit to excellent service. You can bring the people in, but the referrals, the key is referrals, giving good service, asking for referrals, taking every buyer and every seller and turning them into 2 more transactions, turning them into advocates for you, where they're giving you 2 more every year. Imagine you have 1 year you have 5 excellent, you're a newer agent, you have 5 excellent buyers, 5 excellent listings, whatever, 5 excellent sales. They each give you 2 that closes the next year. Now you have 10 sales the next year, because you got 2 from each one of those. Imagine those 10 sales and that 5 sales on the first one, they all give you 2 more for the next year. So now you got 10 and you got 20. So that turns into 30 sales the next year. Do you know, it's just compounding. You never hear like compounding interest. You have some money in the bank, and then that interest every year goes on to the money, and then the next year you earn interest on that money and the interest you earned the year before, and then that year you have the money, you earn interest on the money that you originally had plus the interest that you had the first year and the second year. That's called compounding. That's how your business should be. It's compounding. The first sales you have, those people should be turned into advocates because you gave such great service and excellent, they want to refer you to their family, friends, and you ask for the business, and then they got more, and they got more, and they got more, and that's how you build a business. Example, I know I use this example a lot. Restaurants, what do you go in? They give good service in hopes that those people will talk to other people, and those people will tell 10 more people, and those people will tell 5 more people, and then the people who came to the restaurant the first week are going to come back the next month, and then those people tell more people, and then those people come back because they're not going out to eat every night or several times a month, but at least once a month, maybe some, on average. I don't know the average people go out to the same restaurant, but that's compounding, and you're having return people. And then guess what? Then the great thing about real estate, it's not lifelong sometimes. What I mean is those buyers that bought from you 5, 7, 10 years ago are going to buy from you again. So next thing you know, I know it's hard, it's a long period, but then they come back. And then the next 10 years of your career, after the first 10 years, you're compounding all of those people, and then now you're reselling the same houses over and over and over again. Quick story is I have a good friend that's a broker in Myrtle Beach. And I remember telling him, how a lot of your sales, the same properties? He goes, oh yeah. I go, well, how long usually, what's the turnover? He goes, 2 years. I go, 2 years? That's it? The people you're selling a house today, you'll resell that house on average 2 years from now. I go, yeah. I'm like, whoa, why are these people? And then of course it hit me, vacation rental. He goes, yes, most of our sales, vacation rentals. What happens is they come in thinking, hey, instead of renting, I might as well buy. They come in, they buy it, and they like it, and they kind of love it. The what do you call it? Honeymoon period. The honeymoon period of it, and they love it. They love it. They love it. And then they're renting it out to people, and then all of a sudden the second year hits, and maybe they're not renting it out as much. Now there comes some hassle. Now they start coming the second year, and they go, wow, it's kind of covering a break-even point, and then about after the second year to third year, the honeymoon phase is over. It becomes a hassle, and the money that they're saving or earning is not enough for all the things they have to do, or things start breaking or have fixing and things like that, especially if they're not, it's their first vacation rental, vacation home, and then they sell it. So what they do, they have a 2-year, they stay on top of those people from the time they sell the house forever, because they know they're going to eventually sell it, because they're in a vacation area or retirement area, or some people sometimes buy properties now thinking, okay, I'm going to semi-retire, and then they don't ever, and then they sell it. So they have a higher turnover. Here in Ohio, we don't have that. We're not vacation capital of the world. We're not the retirement capital of the world. We have people long-term turnover, but it will turn over. It will happen. Every house, every buyer will sell that house eventually. When is up to you to put in that timeline of that. So something to think about. And what did I say before? If you didn't catch it in one of my other videos, even if it's your listing, please, I say this, please, legally, agency stops the day of closing. You can connect with that new buyer the day after. It's fair game. Just please, what I mean by this is you can connect with that buyer, because chances are 87% it's an 87% chance that agent that worked with them will be out of business by the time they sell it. Why not be the one that sells it? Also, I don't have any statistics. This is over my 30 years of experience seeing agents. When you have, depending upon that agent, I think if you say more listing agents that make more commission and more of their business is listings over buyers, the agents that are more buyers than sellers, or completely buyers and very, very few listings, those agents, there's a huge difference in those percentage of agents getting out of the business every 5 years than typical listing agents. Does that make sense? So there's a better chance at a buyer's agent coming in. Do a little research if you want. You're like, wow, this is a very good listing. This is a pretty good buyer. Let me see this buyer. This buyer is been in the business a year, 2 years. This agent, has been in the business 35 years. You can see by the license number. Maybe they're not going to be in business in 5 years. So you could even paint a picture. Where is this buyer's agent going to be 5 years from, 10 years from now? I might as well stay in touch with this buyer that bought my listing. So it's all fair game. Number 3, commit to ethical service. Okay. 4, have a system of your business so you can personally be consistent. So have systems and personal to you. I mean, system. What I mean by that's what I mean by my notes is systems that are easy for you to consistently do. So that's why I don't really promote, say, hey, you should use this contact management system, this calendar, this lead management system, because the best one is the one that you use, the one that's easy for you to use. Up until about 5 years ago, all I used to use is my iPhone, calendar, notes, and contacts. That's it, because it was in my hand all the time. It was connected to my iCloud, which I could connect. My assistant Brooke would access my iCloud and has all my calendar, my notes, my contacts in there, and we're in business. So I had to get a little bit more connected with emails and Google and all that. So we have other systems now, but the one that you use, and easy to use, because you don't want to spend more time data entry, notes, and things, and stuff that's easy for anybody else to jump in and see what you've been doing and see and pick up where you left off. So again, I love what I do every day, but if I needed to take a vacation for a couple weeks, my assistant Brooke and my partner Brenda could pick up where I left off. I'm like, hey, Brenda, which is my partner, which has been in the business just as long as I do, trust her with my life and business and any decision she made. I before she doesn't even have to call me. I trust her judgment and her expertise being in the business just as long as I have. We're like one in the same. So any of Century 21 Homes or agents, if you ever need something and I'm unavailable or Brenda's we're interchangeable. What I say, she would say. What she would say, I would say. It's like we double each other, which is perfect. Yeah, it's like having two of me or two of her. But the point I'm getting at is have it easy enough that you could explain to someone else what you do every day. And that's my opinion, having that organized. So the systems. Number 5, commit to growth and development. Always commit to the growth unless you hit where you want to be. Do you know what I mean? You got to hit to where you want to be. What one of the things, the analogies I use is, I'm not a huge golfer. I used to be. I just don't have the time anymore. I play probably one round of golf every 2-3 years. But I always tell all my friends or whoever I'm playing with, we joke. I say I'm like the best one round every 2-year golfer than you ever see. So every once in a while I'll go to a golf outing once every other year, and I remember I went to one several years ago, and had some friends invited me, and they just assumed I played golf all the time, and I bring and I'm like, I'm late. I'm like, why I'm late? Why are you late? I go, I can't find my clubs. What do you mean you can't find your clubs? Like, I don't know. The last time I saw them was a couple years ago, and my friend is like, what? When's the last time you played? I go, I don't even remember. And I I had to call one of my sons who had borrowed my clubs years ago. I'm like, hey, I needed clubs. And of course my son said, well, you haven't played. I didn't even think you needed them back. So I got my clubs, and my friend put me on a different foursome and they were competitive or semi-competitive, and put me on a different foursome, and our foursome won. And they're like, and my friend who put me on another person's team just wanted to win, and just thought I was filling a hole in their foursome, or in their eightsome, so to say. And we won, and they were very surprised. But anyways, the whole point. I don't even know. That was an analogy. See, I got off the point, but now here's an analogy. It says, in golf, you putt. I used to always putt like I wanted to hit the ball just enough to drop in the hole, like basketball. You shoot a basket, you just shoot it just enough to get into the basket. You need to do that. But in golf, I learned, and if you ever watch any professional golfer, they don't putt like that. They putt past the hole. The hole is the goal, but they know that if they don't they don't hit it with enough energy to just barely get there. You always wonder, just watch golf. If they miss a putt, it goes by like a foot or more sometimes. And that was the point. They didn't hit it too hard. They just didn't hit it on target, if that makes sense. And I learned that, and I said, that is a good analogy, is that you can't do, if you're like, I want to sell X amount of homes a year, and I'm going to put this much energy to barely sell that amount of home, you're not going to get there. What I tell agents is this: you are income generating, you are lead generating. That's your job. That's your main focus every day. When you get those leads, and if you go, I have too many leads and I can't handle it, then you delegate it, refer it to other agents. Do not, your number one job, especially any agent out there, if you have another job, you're brand new in the business, you're like, I really don't want to, get out there too much because I can't handle too many buyers. Don't worry, your job, get leads, go find people, go get out there. Don't worry about it. I have some agents right now that never show houses and just sub out. That's how a team is. That's how successful teams are. You think the team leader shows every buyer? You see some of these teams that sell 400, 500, 600 houses. How do they do that? The team leader doesn't show all of that. They have people underneath them. They delegate. Who's going to? They sub out. They refer. So don't say, like, I want to sell 10 houses a year. I'm going to do just enough. I give it just enough energy to get enough leads that I have 10 leads to get to sell 10 houses. No, your job, like the putt, is to put enough energy in there to get 30 leads. Then you could have choices. You're like, I want to take this buyer, that buyer, this listing, that listing, and I don't want to put my effort into that one's on the other side of town and it's 80,000. This one's closer, 300,000. You have choices. Then you could give up those clients to other agents. So that's the point I'm getting at with commit to growth, is you got to put enough energy in to get past your goals. And there's ways to delegate and refer, because if you just put barely enough just to get barely enough of the clients, you're not going to ever never hit your goal. You'll never will, because all of those 10 buyers or 10 listings, I'm just saying, if your goal is 10, they're all not going to close. Some of them are going to back out. Track your performance and results. So always be tracking your performance and what you are accomplishing, and your results, where your leads are coming from, where your sales are coming, what clients are referring you business, where are your leads coming from, so you could put more energy in those and cut out the things that are not working. So always be tracking your performance and results. And last, be accountable. Be accountable to yourself. Accountability is key. So a lot of us, I'm definitely have it, I don't know, can't even remember if I created the feeling or it was just in me or something. At the end of the day, I know if it was a productive day or I slacked off, or it's kind of like if you're, I know if I have those days where if I skip the gym that day, I know it's easy feeling. What did you do today? Well, if I want to get in shape or be healthier, I didn't go to the gym and I didn't eat the healthy food I want. It's very simple. At least I see it. Unproductive health day, we'll say. You could do that. But in real estate, sometimes we think we justify the things we did or didn't do. But was it productive, right? Was it reactive? Was it income generating? Was it lead generating? Was it growth? Or was it just maintaining? Or were you doing things that actually could have hurt your business? Where example of that is you were unorganized with what you're working on now and getting your buyers or sellers upset because you're not communicating and not helping them through the process because you're not organized and you're not keeping things in place and you're not focused on their needs. and now you have an upset client, you have a client that got through the deal but just not as simple and as smooth enough where they would want to recommend you to someone else. That hurts your business. So you could actually be doing things that could negatively impact your business on that. So think about that as being accountable for what you do every day. What are you doing? Is it income generating? Is it lead generating? Is it something that's proactive? Is it something that's for growth? Or something that could, like I said, just could be hurting your business with an upset customer, and just I'll throw in there how you your relationship with other agents. And I'll say one last thing today. We're going on 50 minutes here. One last thing today, especially to the newer agents, please. I think there's a lot, it's kind of a service announcement, or I guess that would be the easiest thing to explain this. What I'm about to say is there's such a thing going around in our communities, in our world, in our society. It's a win or lose. Win or lose. Who wins? A discussion. Who wins? A client. Who loses? I want to do things my way. I'm going to communicate my way. And when we deal with agents to agents, sometimes I see it more and more happening with communication with people. And I just think it's just a society thing. It's just saying, I want to communicate this way, and I don't care. And if you don't like it, the way I talk, the way I text, the way I email, how I negotiate contracts, is that our relationship with each other as agents is key to our business. If you don't leave the transaction or end the transaction on a fair, good note with the other agent, doesn't matter if it's their fault, your fault, or whatever, if there's a fault, if you want to say that, of why the relationship wasn't good and smooth, you lost something there. You lost an advocate. An advocate, the other agents can be advocates for you, and not in the aspect they're not going to give you business. Well, they might. I have agents that give business to others, especially in our office, inner office, because one agent might be on one side of town, one might be on the other, someone's on vacation, all of that. But even company to company, you've got, that's an advocate. What I mean by that, I see this happen a lot, especially in the last couple of years, is I've seen agents, listing agents, our listings, other people's listings, that have what's the word? I get this question a couple times a month from agents. Is it my duty as an agent, say they're a listing agent or buyer's agent, could go either way, to, when all of a sudden an offer comes in or whatever on our listing, or we're giving one, and that agent says, I had a very bad experience with this agent the last time I had to deal with him, is it my duty to have that conversation with my client? Again, my opinion, solely my opinion, is yes, you need to, because the worst thing that can happen is a deal falls apart, and you say, you have your seller say it's your listing, seller accept it, you get to the end, and this happened, and you go, oh, that happened the last time I had a list, they had a buyer. If I was a seller, I'd be upset. Like, why didn't you explain that to me? What happened? What was your experience the last time that happened at this? Because sometimes some agents attract the same type of buyers. Maybe some agents give the same advice. Maybe some agents, like I just had this happen yesterday. I had an agent that was our listing, and a week or two into it, she goes, the buyer is still looking for a loan. And I go, what? And picking a lender. I said, did they have a pre-approval? I go, yeah, they have a pre-approval from, and it was good pre-approval. We talked to the lender and everything before, And now the buyer's agent's telling them, oh yeah, after they get an accepted offer, I always tell them to start shopping around some more and finding some other lenders and see what kind of rates and stuff they have. I'm like, we're supposed to close in 30 to 45 days. You can't go a week into the contract, 2 weeks, and still not know what lender you're going to use. You have a pre-approval. Why didn't you stick with that one? And the agent says, well, she always says, well, that's a good one, but keep on looking around. And she hasn't picked who she's going to get a loan when they're supposed to have a loan application in, which they did within the time, but they already told us they're not going through that bank or mortgage company. The point I'm getting at to that is that you start seeing sometimes some agents might not give the right advice, how they handle things, their communication, and it affects their client, and it might affect your client. So the service announcement that I'm making to all agents is that your relationship with that other agent and how they perceive you, perception is reality. Kind of like the Matrix. When you see the movie The Matrix, perception is reality. What you see is reality. So sometimes, I have so many different personalities in our office, and agents, and the agents I talk to more and more and more, I kind of know their personalities and how they talk and how they communicate a little bit better. But remember, when you go to that other agent, they might not know you as much. And perception, you have to have the same sales talk, communication, have that with the other agent, that you want to make that other agent like you and trust you and think you're going to be the best agent for that job for the other side. Does that make sense? But for some reason, sometimes they think we're competitors, and they just and things go sour, and who wins, who loses. I don't have to be nice to the other agent. They're not my client. That's not a good business, a long-term business goal. You want to go on to end or throughout your career with more agents enjoying having conversations with you. I know there's going to be tough times and big decisions and fights a little bit and negotiations. Sometimes it happens. You're not going to please everybody. But that should be your goal, is that at the end, before it even starts, that agent is going to love me. That other agent's going to love me and can't wait to the next time I bring a buyer there, or they can't wait to sell one of my listings because they love doing business with me. They're an advocate. Just imagine they talk to another agent in the office and they go, wow, Tony was awesome to work with. And then all of a sudden that agent has a listing and I bring a buyer that's like, oh yeah, so-and-so has told me how good you are and how nice you were and how easy it was to get a hold of you. Again, you don't think of the long-term goal. You're going to be coming across as a small pond we're in real estate with realtors. So think of those relationship with the other agent is very important on that. And that's the last thing I wanted to say today about that. And I could go on for a lot more, another hour about how important that is. But that's it for today. Hit the hour mark. That's it for the 15 days of top agent training boot camp, whatever you want to call it, on that. And I promise I'm going to be doing these again in a couple months. Probably not. I'm trying to think of every 2 to 3 months I'll redo these. And I promise you, a lot of this is from my notes. It's not going to be the same thing because I have my notes. I come up with different stories, different material. This is not scripted. This is just bullet points of notes of things that I want to say. So this is not like a play or a show where you're going to get the same thing. So you might want a refresher the next time you see this. It's going to be totally different. It's not going to be this exact video. It's going to be live again with maybe a new virtual background for my office, so to say, on that. So remember, reach out to me, call, text, email me anytime. I'm happy to help you with your business with any of these topics, and we'll go more in detail on them. And I wish everybody the best. Have a great Friday and a great weekend, and we're back on Monday with more day-to-day motivation and real estate training. Bye-bye.